Hey y'all, my name is Maudie. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And today I am going to show you a real life pantry slash storage room slash junk room tour. I have one of these in my videos somewhere that I did back in the winter, but today I'm going to show you just how I store food for my large family. We live in about 1,500 square foot, probably not even that. It's really probably more like 1,200 square foot. I've raised 9 children here, and currently there are 9 of us living at home, 4 adults, 2 of my adult children, and then myself and my husband, and then 5 minor children. So we have a lot of things, and we've just had to put things where we could put them. And over the years, I was much better at storing and not junking up my place. My mother also lived with us up until she passed away in 2018. So there was actually 3 adults here the entire time, even when our currently adult children were younger. So my mom had Alzheimer's and she lived with us. This room that we're in was actually my mother's room. It is a cement slab, and it had a door where you could go outside into our backyard, and my mom really liked that. It gave her some privacy. There's also another door that shuts off from our house, but you can just open the door and go into our little hallway, into our kitchen. And Mom really liked being in here just because it gave her privacy. And so that was good for her. But when she was in here, she had a bed in here, and then like some dressers and her sewing machine table, and that was it. And then towards the end of her life, she became a hoarder. So there was all kinds of things. When my mom had passed away, we found all kinds of things in here, like little balls that fall off of trees, the little sticky balls. She had hundreds of them hid under her bed, believe it or not. So we had a lot to clean out, and before this time I just used my kitchen, and I had a couple of racks in my schoolroom, and that's where we put our food, and we just had to put it where we could. And it was a lot messier then in the kitchen and in the schoolroom, but the rest of the house always flowed fairly well. I mean, we just try not to keep a lot of junk, and we try to just rotate things out. And that's my only tip for living in a really tiny house with a lot of people. So now we have this space. It took us about a year to clean it out after my mom passed away. I really wasn't in a hurry to get in here and get it out. But I had some family members come over, and we cleaned part of it out, and then it kind of sat for another few months. Eventually though, we got it all cleaned out, and we've been using it for about 3 years now for our food storage. And I really, really enjoy it. I'm so thankful we have this room. We also have a deep freeze in here. We still have storage in here that's not food storage. We have the stuff for our swimming pool. My husband has like a craft table and some craft supplies. He does RC cars, and he makes little model cars. So he has all that kind of stuff over here, but you really can't see it because I have pretty much piled it up, and I will show you that. But I'm going to show you guys first just how I store our food. So my main tip for storing food is put like things together and know what you have. So like, for instance, over here, again, excuse the mess, over here is basically our baking section. So I've mentioned it before, my daughter has a cottage bakery, so we always have a lot of baking goods. So here's our flour. We store it, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my goodness, like you don't store your flour in a container that bugs or whatever could not get in. And we did do that for years, but now we do have containers in our cabinets in the kitchen where we keep a 5 is this 5 pounds? I think it is. Yes, it holds a 5-pound bag, and we use probably, if I had to just guess, sometimes we use, I don't know, sometimes we use 10 or 15 pounds a week. So we are just constantly rotating it. It does not sit here for long. We go through it. So anyway, there's all of our baking stuff. I have my pasta, some peanut butter, like vinegars. We have glass, some storage down here. And I have lots of bags, as you see. What I started doing, I was buying those little fancy garbage bags for my bathroom garbage, because I went through a spell where I thought, you know, it's the bathroom, it's nasty, but if we can put a little scented bag in the can, it kind of makes it a little bit nicer. But then I'm like, I have an abundance of these bags. We don't have any pets other than my cat. So like, we just don't have a use for them. We don't have little babies in diapers where we're using these as, you know, if you have a bad diaper, you just chunk it in the bag, tie it up, and take it to the garbage. So these just stacked up. And I also use these bags if I have like grease or something I'm wiping out to throw away. I will get a bag and use a couple of bags to clean it out instead of using paper towels. That's another way I try to save. But I have collected a ton of these because we do go through a lot of food. We go through a lot of stuff. And here in our area, you still get bags unless you go to Aldi. And actually, if you go to Aldi and you do an Aldi pickup, they also do give you bags. I'm sure we pay for it somewhere in the price for the pickup, but we get the paper bags, which are really, really nice because we can use those for a ton of different things too. But so if you see a lot of these bags, it's just because I'm saving my bags. Call me a hoarder in that sense or whatever, but I always have a use for them. I do sometimes just get to where we've got so many and I will just throw them away if someone can't use them. We did have a place we could take them and recycle them, but it's not available anymore, so I throw them away sometimes. But for the majority of time, we use them and they just come in handy. But anyway, back to this. So yeah, this is our baking stuff. We've got all kinds of, I've got my pumpkin up here, and cherry and apple, some granola applesauce. We've got herbs down here, different types of dried herbs. I've got all of our puddings and icing, and I have just these quick icings and cake mixes in case my daughters want to make a cake themselves. My younger daughters, they can just like make one. So I bought like all these white ones, had several white, the rest of these are French vanilla, and then we have several Devil's Food, and this is super easy just to grab and go if you need a quick dessert, or if you have a birthday or something and you're trying to make a cake. I just prefer to have this stuff on hand, and it has been a really good price. And currently, with the way the economy is, I don't know what the prices are going to do, so I just prefer to have it on hand. Over here, you can see, this goes to the vacuum. I just keep stuff stocked up. You know, if I can leave it in the containers, I do. Like if I can leave it in the box, I'll leave it in the box. And this you can. I get my diced tomatoes, my tomato sauce at Sam's. I get my pasta at Walmart. And pizza sauce, if I don't make it myself, I always just keep some here. And that comes from Aldi, as does my marinara. And I can see here that I'm low. I'm like low on the pasta sauce, and I'm low on marinara. And pizza sauce is fine. But it's really okay. I can also make my own, and I do that too. I pull my stuff together and just make my own if I need it. But I do like to have it on hand just so it's quick. And that really cuts down on excess spending that I don't need to spend. When I take my family out to a fast food restaurant, it can easily be $70. And I don't have that type of money just to drop on crap food, because that's what it is. It's crap food. Even prepackaged food that I make semi-prepackaged, because I do make it from scratch, but it might be pasta sauce or something that I dump in it. It's still going to be healthier than anything I'm going to get at the fast food restaurant. So, and still cheaper, especially when you're feeding a lot of people. So I try my best to just keep things on hand to make it convenient. I've been buying the cheese pizzas at Sam's. 3 comes in a pack for $12 and some change. And I've been buying 2 of those a month just to have those on hand. And we go through 2 or 3 pizzas at a time. It's according to how many's here. I can take those cheese pizzas. I can leave 1 cheese, and then I can add toppings to the other ones, or a couple of them, according to what my family wants. And that is still way cheaper than even Little Caesars. I mean, if we go to Little Caesars, which is the cheapest pizza place here, it's at least $50 for us to eat at Little Caesars. But, you know, for a treat, it's fine. But that's not even an every week thing for us. And currently, we're not going out to eat until my husband's birthday, which is in October. And that'll just be he and I. We're just trying to save money. And so, you know, we're not getting out. We're not getting takeout. Even if we wanted to, it would have to be like a dire emergency for us to actually get takeout. So my suggestion is, if you can do everything you can to make it easy for you to stay home, easy for you to eat at home. As I said in my video, my grocery haul video, I buy carrots in bulk, onions in bulk, I buy celery when it's on sale, bell peppers. I buy all that stuff when I can afford it. I cut it up, dice it up. My celery, I cut it 2 different ways, of course, so I'll know what's what for each meal I'm making. Same with my carrots. Some are bigger if it's for soup, but if it's for like just a casserole or chicken pot pie, and I'm going to need little dices, I've got a bag of that too. So it takes time initially. You're going to have to set probably a whole morning aside if you're like me. I really have to just block off time and be intentional about it. I chop everything up, label it in my freezer bags, and put them in the freezer. And it's easy for me to just grab out what I need, put the bag back in the freezer, and I'm on to the next thing. And that is one of my main tips on how to save money when you're trying to be intentional about feeding your family and not taking advantage of like takeout and things like that, which is so expensive, and it's probably going to get more expensive. And again, the food you're eating is not healthy, and I do buy unhealthy things. In my video yesterday, I bought my kids Fun Dip. Some of my little kids have never had Fun Dip. I have an adult son, and he's like, hey, we should get some pixie sticks. Well, we go to Googling and we're finding out they don't make pixie sticks anymore. So the next best thing is Fun Dip. We got Fun Dip, and so our kids enjoyed those. I enjoyed them. My son and my adult daughter, we had a little treat. Yes, I had hyper little kids last night, but it was fine. It was a treat. It's not our lifestyle. We don't normally just eat crap. So I do like to treat my family when I can, and that's why sometimes you do see that I buy honey buns, I buy cookies, even though we have a bakery and my daughter makes delicious cookies. Sometimes we just like to have snacks on hand, and that's okay, because buying those snacks are still cheaper than going to the gas station or going to the quick store or whatever just to grab something. And it's much cheaper than having a bunch of hungry kids in the car begging for something. You know, you can just give them a snack, something that's already made, already prepared. And now we buy granola. I did have a really good granola recipe. I'm going to try to find it, and if I can't, I'm going to find another one. I'm going to start making our own granola bars, because I did buy granola bars last month. They're extremely expensive. I did not realize how expensive they were, so I'm not doing that again. I'm going to find my own recipe, make my own, and I will show you guys when I do that. But okay, I'm jabbering, so let's just go on. I also not only have food stuff in here, we have like bakery stuff. This is for our bakery, so we've got some of our medicine in here. I've got my canning stuff, extra jars, my bulk supplies of like my ranch and mayo and all that. This is some salsa that I canned. I mean, it's okay. It was out of some of my green tomatoes. I wasn't impressed, but we will still use it, probably in a crock pot recipe. I have my dehydrator and my blender, and then I've got a food processor back here. So all this stuff stays here. I've got a lot of my cooking and canning things all over here. So it looks junky, but I know where everything is. And that is another thing when you are storing food, you know, whoever, and it's probably the mama that's going to be in charge, she needs to know where her stuff is. And so I come in here and I put all the things away. I may have my kids come in here and set it down for me, but I'm putting it away because I know where it is, and I can just look in here and I can take a mental note and say, oh yeah, we need XYZ. And I already know. And I'll just put it in my phone or put it on a piece of paper so I don't forget it. So when it's time for me to shop, I already know what I need. And that also saves money, because I have had a habit in the past, a really bad habit of just buying things because I think, you know, I've not looked, I've not checked, and I'm like, do we need XYZ? You know, what do we need? And then I can't remember, so I'll go ahead and buy it. And then I come home and I've got 4 of them. You know, so that's really wasteful, even though, yes, it gets used, but it's still wasteful because those funds could have been allotted to something else. So I try to be intentional about what I'm buying and how I'm buying it. So over here is where I have my canned vegetables, and I have everything by, like everything is by order, what they are, different kinds. And that's from yesterday. I bought all those green beans and the cream corn and whole kernel corn. That'll do us for a little while. I've got some of my bulk spices back there. Here's like pickles and stuff, and my garlic and relishes. Some canned potatoes that I had bought. I've not used those yet. I was told that you can drain those potatoes and you can actually fry those canned potatoes that are sliced. So I'm going to try that. I haven't tried it yet, but I intend to, and I'll let you guys know how that turned out. And then up here, I have my soups, and I have all those labeled. And I went ahead and just opened up my new container of cream and mushroom soup, even though I don't need any out of it right now. I bought it so when I need some, I can just send a child in here and they can grab it, and they don't have to fool trying to open it up. Because the only thing I will say about this shelves, the grid, or whatever it is, whatever it's called, the rack, it runs like a long way. My other shelves here, the rack runs up and down, which I prefer. When I bought these shelves here, I did not realize that there was even a difference until I got them out. And we bought all of these at one time. We already had these two. Things sit beautifully on these two. They don't tumble, they don't fall or rock. I get these and I'll set my cans on them, and I'm like, why are they not like staying steady? And then I realized it was because the rack ran a different direction. So you can actually look and just make sure, if you can, if it any way possible, you could just get the ones that go up and down instead of long ways. If I had it to do over again, I definitely would do that, even if I would have had to have paid more for these. These all came from Lowe's. They're actually really reasonably priced, or they were when I bought them. So I've been pleased with it. But anyway, I've just got all my stuff here. I've got coffee and my Hershey syrup and our creamers, and all our stuff is up there. And then I've got my tea and my beef broth, chicken broth, crackers. I've kind of got like-minded, like type things as best as I can together. And then my kitchen has spilled over in here because, again, when we remodeled our house, we made our kitchen actually smaller. We cut out some cabinets to like build a cabinet around our refrigerator. We intended on selling right away, so we didn't intend on staying here. So it wasn't practical for us, but it was very appealing visibly for, other people. But not for us. We thought it was pretty, but it's not practical for our family. But the Lord had other plans, and we're still here. So a lot of our kitchen utensils and the pots and pans and things that we use, my Dutch ovens, we've had to put them out here. I have one Dutch oven in the kitchen, and then this other one out here. I keep my crock pots out here instead of just keeping everything on the counter. But this is pretty much it. And we've got our freezer here, and then here behind it, I've got my sugar, paper towels, toilet paper. All this stuff is holiday stuff and school stuff in bins. You can't really see it because everything's a mess right now, but there's just bin after bin after bin stacked back here. And I know what all of it is, but I do have to get in here before too much longer, and I've got to get on this side, and I've got to really deep clean it. I want to go through and get rid of as much things as I can get rid of. And I also want to clean off my husband's work area so he can have his craft thing back, his little craft table. And I can also set my sewing machine up there, and I can use it sometimes. And I don't have to maybe transport my sewing machine all over the place, which is what we do right now. We just take it into the kitchen. But anyway, so this is it. This is our storage, our food storage room, and this is how we make it work. If you have any questions or any suggestions, if you see anything and you think, oh, maybe if you do XYZ, it might go better, please let me know. I would love to hear what you think down in the comments. And if you know of anyone who would like this video or like my channel or the type of content I produce, I would love for you guys to just send them my way. If you would like my video, share my channel. If you feel led, subscribe. It really helps our channel grow, and we appreciate it so much. My family gets so excited when we get new subscribers, and we just want to share our lives with you guys, and we just appreciate you being here so much. So I will see you all in the next video, and I hope you have a great day.